Welcome to our Best of 2018. We're here to highlight the people, places, and events that made this year so impressive.
That's right, Matt. We've covered some pretty great stories this year and met some truly amazing people. Take a look.
I think that women in the Army, we enjoy this equality because in the Army, if I do the job that my peers do, we get paid the exact same thing. But there's still work to be done. You know, what I'd like to see is a normalization of women doing incredible things. And here's what I mean. I don't want to see the headlines that always say, you know, first woman to do this, or this woman strives for this. I want it to be normal. I want society to recognize that men and women all can achieve greatness and will achieve greatness. And so when we come to that part, my daughters, my granddaughters will realize that it is not an exceptional thing because women are succeeding.
There's a lot of enthusiasm. We have 5 new members of the council, and I think that's good to bring a lot of energy. I can definitely feel an excitement about coming to the meetings.
I want to make sure that our city is supporting the folks that are making the real change happen in this town.
Change is always exciting and difficult.
My thoughts on the biggest issue that Rolla is facing is the opioid epidemic.
We are blessed with a great mayor, great city administrator, great people, great citizens, great voters, but across the board.
We have a big complement of senior citizens that I would definitely like to feel like they're being represented.
It takes a lot of hours of planning, a lot of communication, a lot of deliberation. It's just a lot of moving parts to line up.
You know, one of the most special aspects of the Library of Congress surplus books giving to local rural libraries is the fact that they're from the Library of Congress, which is pretty special.
We're the missing link to give a voice, give a face. I found photographs in the archives, a story. It's kind of like a puzzle in a box. Earl Garrison's a hero, and his family's going to hear that. Earl Garrison's voice is on this. It has to be returned to the family at no cost.
The working people of Missouri, let their voice be heard, and overwhelmingly were against Prop A by a huge margin.
Everybody wants to blame somebody else for problems these days. Point the thumb at yourself before acting or responding. Ask yourself what ownership or accountability you have in any situation, and then you can look to place blame elsewhere. But look at yourself first and inside yourself first. And I think a lot of times you'll find some honesty and awareness you didn't even know you had.
Stories can open the world to children. It can show them where they want to go and what they want to become. Many people, as adults, they would rather do nothing more than sit down and enjoy a good book. And if we can instill that in young children to enjoy reading, then they have the whole world open to them.
I would like to start getting the community more involved. It's just giving people the opportunity to give. This community is beyond generous, and they have come together and they are rallying around us. And so giving more people the opportunity to help and to give is wonderful.
When these dogs are rescued out of these high kill shelters, and they're put in there, they're called euthanized, that's because there's nobody in that local town or local area that goes into that shelter and picks that dog out. So a lot of times they have to move out of that town. And so that's where the benefit of general aviation comes in. Just earlier this year, we finally went over 24,900 miles, which is the circumference of the Earth. So we have flown that far just doing these dog rescue missions. And I will tell you, every single dog, I think they realize they're being helped. And it's just, they're just so appreciative and loving.
You are listening to 89.7 FM KMNR, broadcasting out of scenic Rolla, Missouri. My name is MC3PO, and this is my show. Going to a STEM-oriented engineering university it's hard to find people interested in arts and music sometimes.
Once it gets in your blood, it kind of stays there. You know, there's something special about radio.
You've seen the station. You know how ridiculous we are, and so you can just kind of be yourself around all these crazy people who like to geek out about music.
It really is completely student run. I just kind of make sure that they don't burn the place down.
I grew up playing trombone. I mean, it's not like the same thing is all this rock and roll, but it like you said, it gets in your soul. And I couldn't help myself.
One person I really enjoyed interviewing this year was Taylor Louderman. Taylor's a Tony-nominated Broadway actress from Bourbon, Missouri, who returned home this summer to teach a workshop at Ozark Actors Theater.
What is your role going to be, Taylor?
Well, we're still figuring that out because I will be in New York, still doing Mean Girls. So I don't really quite know yet, but I know that I want to just give back in any way I can. So doing things like this today, I just donated my time to, help local kids learn more and appreciate theater more. And then, any the profits will go into the theater. We're getting creative in terms of collaborating with like social media opportunities, or, any time that I'm in town doing workshops like this or talent shows or whatever. Anything that enriches the community through the theater, I think is something I'm passionate about and I feel responsible for,
Well, speaking of local, you grew up in Bourbon.
Yes.
What would you say were the influences that have stayed with you in your 6 years on Broadway?
Well, Ozark Actors Theater was the first place I ever performed a musical. I did Annie here. I don't know how many years ago, and I don't even want to say. But, so definitely the connections I made here took me to do theater in St. Louis, which took me to do theater in New York. And being from rural Missouri keeps me grounded and, helps me tell different stories, I think. So I'm proud of where I'm from.
How do you hope to influence the arts in rural Missouri?
Storytelling is, it shapes our culture. And I think it's one of the most powerful tools for change. And it's so important for young people to learn empathy and compassion. And by stepping into someone else's shoes, even for 5 minutes, they are forced to think outside of the box and outside of their own selves, which is so important. And so even if it's as little as hosting a workshop here and challenging the kids to do that, I feel like it just sends little fireflies out, and it just spirals, and that is so rewarding to me.
I like that stance. You can literally do that as much as you want. Yeah. And otherwise just hands down. And there were times when I saw your hands wanting to do things, and I felt like you said, no, don't do that, but I say, go for it, right? Like, if your hand wants to go up like that, to fuel the story, do it.
Even just the shows that we watch here on stage, I think, it's entertaining, but it's also important to come and hear about a story of someone who lives a totally different life than what we are used to here. It can be really powerful.
It's an opportunity to make people feel something and inspire people. I have to do the same show every single night, and I don't like doing it every single night, right? But I have to treat it like that. It's a gift. Not for me, for them, right? So that they can go home, feel inspired, and then go home to try harder on their homework or try harder at work. Who knows if they feed the hungry people? I don't know what it is. No, but seriously, right? To inspire them, to light something in them in whatever they do, so that they can give back to the world in the best way that they can.
Tell me about your workshops. Do you do them throughout the country?
Yeah, I do. I mean, mostly in New York. Oftentimes, parents will send their kids to New York to do a workshop, because then I can do them all year round, But I've definitely done them at different spots. And, it's really just about giving kids the opportunity to perform, and remind them that it's not about getting up here and letting others judge your talent or your skills, right? It's really about getting good at storytelling so that you can give back to the community through the stories. And I try to remind them, like, at the end of the day, if you can just inspire one person to go out there and do their job better or change someone else's life, then again, you're doing that, you're doing your part.
Why choose local? Because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
Welcome back to our Best of 2018. It's been quite a year. The recap attended several events, ranging from a barbecue cook-off in Gasconade County to the landing of Air Force One in Springfield. Here's a look back.
One of my favorite events this year was the first Tech Challenge at Missouri S&T. The gym that day was chock full of high schoolers showing off some pretty high-tech machines.
Yeah, one guy was even dressed like Indiana Jones. Shockingly enough, it wasn't me. You even got hugged by a robot.
I did.
I want to see that again.
What is important about the first Tech Challenge for Missouri S&T?
Well, we've been excited to host this event really for the last, more than 5 years, but 5 years that I've been here. About 25 to 30% of our freshman class have been on one of these first teams. So, number one, it's a little bit of a direct recruiting tool. But the reason we host this is it gives these students a chance, and it gives us a chance to get them onto our campus and see what we do here. This is a wonderful event for them because they're not in control of everything that'll happen, and then they have a chance to learn how do you react when something goes wrong. We found that students that are involved in these competitions are more successful at Missouri S&T. We really are very interested in hosting this, and we really do love the students that have been on these teams.
Matt, I'm with Cameron and Jade. They're from the Rolla Patriots. Tell us a little bit about your project.
This year we had these blocks that we had to pick up, and we had a foam wheel that went over the top of the blocks to pick them up, and this one orients them in the right way. And in the back of the robot, we have a flipper that flips the blocks into a point box.
So we have 3 different patterns that we can do while putting the blocks into the crypto box. So I believe they're doing the checkerboard pattern right now. One of the funny things about our robot is we actually christened part of our robots. So this wheel right here, this foam thing, is called the cheese wheel, and the flipper back here is called the macaroni. So it's macaroni and cheese.
This year's competition, the robots are collecting glyphs. It's an archaeology expedition. And if the robots are helping their explorers that are the team, because the team can't physically go into the space, the robot will reach out for glyphs and put them in a pattern in the crypto boxes on the 4 walls. And if they make the correct pattern or cipher, decoding the clue, they're allowed to find a relic, which is the little men that you see in the corner. And then to recover the relics, they have to put them out where people can reach them. And you'll see at the end of the match in what we call the end game, robots reaching out off the field to deposit those relics on that mat.
So it's like the little golden idol.
It is very much like a little golden idol or Indiana Jones kind of situation. Yep.
I understand you've done well at Worlds in the past. Tell me about that.
We actually went to Worlds last year, and we were 13th in our division.
What do you think your chances are at today's competition?
I think we're going to do really good because we have the highest score in the state right now.
How can schools or students get involved in the competition?
Well, the easiest way is to go to our website, stlfirst.org. We have a step-by-step instructions. I'd encourage any school, teacher, student, if they want to get involved, to stop by a competition and see what's happening, talk to other students. It's an amazing program that really makes you feel good about our youth.
We typically cover a lot of miles here at the Recap. In 2018, I went as far as Brumley, Missouri, near Lake of the Ozarks, to visit a pumpkin patch, and I didn't go alone.
I'm Mark Beabout. This is Joyce Beabout, and we're the owners of the Cave Pumpkin Patch. This is our 3rd year in business. Originally, what gave us the idea, we'll blame it on the grandchildren. We'd taken them to pumpkin patches over the year, and we'd owned this property. And one day they said, "Grandpa, why don't you open a pumpkin patch up down there at the Cave property?" And that was 3 years ago, and I'm loving every minute of it.
They come in and they just have so much fun, and then when it's time to leave, they don't want to go. And, you know, the parents are just saying, come on, we have to go. But it's just fun watching all the kids come in. After the Halloween season is over, we've got a new building and we've opened it up as the Magic of Midnight, and it's a wedding venue / event center used for weddings, receptions, family reunions, proms, or just whatever someone wants to use it for.
The cave is called Wright Cave, named after the gentleman that homesteaded this property back in the 1800s. It goes back 600 foot. We let the public go back 200 foot. We have concrete floors, lights, and the girls decorated for this season. And there's a wishing well pond back towards the back. You can walk back 400 feet and you have to crawl the last 200. Put a little PS on there. We're a family business. We've got children, grandchildren, brothers and sisters that work down here. And we're in Brumley, Missouri, down Swinging Bridges Road.
Just for the record, I did win that game of putt-putt. Just want to make that clear.
Moving on. From Owensville to Lebanon, Cuba to Fort Leonard Wood, we certainly have covered some ground in 2018. Thanks for watching the Weekly Recap.
Hey, that's my line.
Whether you see us on YouTube, Facebook, or on TV, we really appreciate each and every one of you so very much.
That's right. From all of us here at Fidelity Local 6, we wish you a very happy and prosperous 2019, and we'll see you next year.